What's up, everybody? John Arapoli here with My MMA News, and today's guest is coming off a big win at LFA 120, spoiling the debut of Royce White. Winning this fight by unanimous decision was Daiqwon Buckley. Really appreciate the time here, man. Can't wait to talk about this fight, too. I know this was probably a great experience for you going up against a former NBA player, getting a win like that. So just thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks, John. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. And let's start with actually the preparation for this fight here. So, obviously, Royce playing in the NBA, super tall guy, right? 6'8". I think he had a
Yeah.
10-inch reach advantage on you. So, when you were preparing for this fight, how exactly did you do that? Because it's going to be pretty hard to replicate somebody like that in the gym, because I'm sure Sanford MMA doesn't have guys that are 6'8" walking around.
To be honest with you, actually, the preparation was not that bad. So luckily, I have a teammate, Steve Mowry. He's 6'8". He's actually a little bit bigger than Royce. So I got to work with him, but we've been working together since I moved down here. So the height thing wasn't really, I mean, it definitely was tough, when the fight came, but at least I did have that height of someone in my gym to actually be able to train with. So I kind of knew a little bit of what to expect, but I did have Steve to help me get prepared for Royce.
I take that statement back where I said Sanford MMA definitely can't have somebody like that. They do. Sanford MMA has everything. It's one of the best gyms in the world for a reason. A lot of high-level guys that train down there. For you, right? We actually come from the same area, right? We're from northeastern Pennsylvania. You're from Dunmore. I'm from Pittston. Obviously, not the biggest hotbed for MMA up this way. It's obviously getting a lot better. It's growing over the years here. So what exactly led you to make this move then down to South Florida and train at this gym, which is obviously, like I said, well known for having some of the best fighters in the world?
Well, one day I was just sitting at home and I was very heavy, and my gym back at home, they're all great guys. That's a really good gym, Thailand's MMA. But I just felt that I needed more. And I felt that if I wanted to be, one of the best guys in mixed martial arts, I had to go to the best gym. So I did some research online, and I didn't know exactly, what kind of camp I wanted to go to. But then when I found Sanford, I'm like, okay, like I think it would be more so it would fit my style a little bit more. So I reached out to the coach. Actually, I wrote a long email. And they didn't get back to me. And I was waiting like 5 minutes after I sent the email. I'm like, oh man, like they didn't get back to me. So then I messaged them on Instagram, and then they put me in touch with Henry Hooft, our head coach over there. And he said, oh yeah, come down for a week and try out. And I was like, oh wow, like I'm surprised they actually got back to me, because I only had 2 MMA fights and I lost one, and then I had a boxing fight back in high school. So I went down there in February, and it went pretty well. I mean, it was a big eye opener. I thought honestly, I thought I was like the best, and then when I got there, I realized that I was far from it. But that's what led me down there. I just needed more, and I knew that if I came down here to Florida, that I'd have no choice but to get better. And then back at home, I mean, I didn't really have like that structure, so I was kind of able to show up and train and then not train. So it's definitely just two different camps.
Yeah, definitely. I imagine it is, especially when you're down there working with that high level caliber athletes that are down there in South Florida. And I want to ask you too, just like how much you've actually improved in this short amount of time. I used to back in February, so we're coming up on close to a year here that you've been training down there. How much have you improved just from going down there and getting to work with guys like Henry Hooft, one of the best coaches in the world, and all of the great athletes that are down there?
I improved levels, man. Levels above from when I first came here. Like I said, I thought I knew like a decent amount about mixed martial arts and like my game, but I really didn't. And then once I got here, I really created a foundation to what like fits me and what's gonna help me be the best. And yeah, definitely levels above what I was before I came here, for sure, in all aspects. Whether it was the ground game, the striking, or just having more knowledge about the game that I didn't have before I came down here. So I'm learning every day, And there's still so much more that I need to improve on, like a lot more. But, I'm showing up every day. And like I said, I have the best coaches and the best teammates to help me get to where I need to be. So.
And now let's get into the real reason why we're here today, talking about this victory here at LFA 120. Let's just start with your performance as a whole. Obviously, you got a unanimous decision victory. How happy were you with your performance, and how exactly would you assess it when you got to go back? I'm not sure if you did actually get to go back and watch it yet. I know it's only been a few days since the fight, but just how would you assess your performance?
I thought I fought well. I was happy. My cardio held up. I wasn't sure because even though I train so hard and we do a lot of sparring rounds and just a lot of high paced things in the gym, but since I haven't fought in 4 years, I just wasn't sure how my cardio was going to hold up. Luckily it did. It held up pretty well actually, and I did have a chance to watch the fight. I have so many areas to improve on, but I think I did pretty well. I got the job done, and I was able to close the distance a few times and trying to get out of his range and try to just get close and make the fight close distance. But yeah, I think I did okay. I feel like I could have done better for sure. I definitely wanted to throw more strikes, but just the range wasn't there at the time. But props to Royce too. Like Royce, whatever anybody says about the guy, who's a basketball player, like no, he's an MMA fighter, and he showed up that night and he did very, very well. And so I want to thank him too for accepting the fight and making it happen.
And wrestling, of course, was the big thing that got you the victory in this fight. Was that the game plan, to go in, get your hands on him, and take him down to the canvas like that?
Pretty much. So, the game plan was just to try to stay in his face and stalk him the whole time. I don't wrestle. I really don't. Like, I usually just like to throw hands. But, yeah, no, we knew that if we got in close, we might have to, take it to the ground. And I felt comfortable enough with my wrestling to be able to do that. Like I said before, though, I still have a lot more to improve. Like, I had a hard time holding him down. He did a great job of, as soon as I got him down to the ground, he got right back up, and then I was like, "Oh man, like okay, like I got to get him back down to the ground again." But yeah, that was pretty much the game plan, and just kind of trying to close the distance as best that we can, and throw a couple strikes and just try to make it dirty, But he did a very good job. He really did.
And obviously, a lot was made of him fighting, coming over from the NBA. Like, I'm pretty sure the New York Post wrote an article on him. There's been a lot of people are obviously paying very close attention to this fight because of Royce's background in the NBA. Did you enjoy kind of playing spoiler here a little bit? Because it kind of went from everybody's like, oh, look at this guy in the NBA is having his first MMA fight, to obviously he loses. Then all of a sudden now all the articles are about you. A lot of attention now comes to you from this victory. Did you enjoy that moment of kind of playing spoiler to a degree?
So I before the fight, I didn't have like a full camp for him, so I didn't know I was going to fight him until 2 weeks ago. So kind of everything kind of came in at once, but I wasn't really thinking about, what was going to happen if I beat him or not. I was just really focusing on like, okay, like I just need to win this fight. So like with all the media and everything leading up to it, I really didn't pay too much attention to it. It was exciting, especially when I got there, fight or on the weigh-in day when I got to see him. Like, okay, now it's time. And then I really started to think about the NBA and all that stuff, like when I got there. But leading up to it, I didn't really have any thoughts. I just knew I had to beat him, and that was really it. I didn't really look at it as anything else. I just knew that we're gonna fight, and regardless, we'll see what happens after.
And I know you had mentioned, right, that there was a layoff there about 4 years where you didn't have a fight in. Now here you are, you're back at it. You win your pro debut. Big win over a high thought of prospect there in Royce. So what exactly is next for you now? Like, do you plan on staying active and getting back inside of the ring again pretty quick here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, we're going into next year. I would like to fight, January, if something comes up in January, I will definitely be ready. But yeah, no, I definitely plan on staying active. And, I moved here to Florida to, make this my career. So this is all I do now. It's all I do is I just train and, work sometimes. But that's it, so this is like my full-time job now, and definitely plan on staying active, and we'll see what's next for sure.
So obviously, we talked like short term there. You kind of did allude a little bit to the long term there. You're dedicating yourself to doing this full time now and to make a career out of fighting. What's the long term goal? Like you're in a great spot now. You have a great pro debut, right? You're fighting out of a great camp. The LFA, of course, is a very great promotion. It's known for producing a lot of high level talent in the UFC and Bellator and a lot of the other big promotions. So, what exactly is the long term goal right now?
The long-term goal, man, is just to get to like the big show. You know what I mean? And I'm not like one of these guys who just want to be like I make it. Like, I want to be a champion someday. And also, too, I mean, it's not all about the money for me, but I would like to make enough money to make sure that my son is taken care of, for the rest of his life too. So, but yeah, definitely to get to the big show, regardless of which one it is, just one of the big promotions and becoming a champ. Obviously, the UFC would definitely be, in my high interest, but pretty much wherever it takes me, I just want to be the best, and I want to be a champion someday for sure.
And obviously, you're used to competing at a high level, right? Not only in fighting, but we were talking before we came on air here. You had a great football career, of course. Dunmore High School, for those of you that are watching this and don't know, Dunmore in the state of Pennsylvania has a great football program, always right in the mix of a state title. So you got to play there, and then after that, you ended up playing for a year at Temple. So you're used to doing things at a high level, competing at this high level. Talk about those football days, though, just for a little bit, and what you took away from your experience of playing football, and kind of how that's now helped you to this point in your career.
Yeah, man. I miss football. I really do. Sometimes it's honestly hard to watch, just because I feel my career got cut very short, but not because of any like politics or anything. I had an injury, so I had compartment syndrome, and it stopped me from pursuing my original dream, which was football at the time. But yeah, man, football was awesome. I miss it, and really what I took was able to take away is when like the layout of doing it at a high level, it's kind of the same. Like you have to practice, like you have to do your homework, and in MMA it definitely correlates. Like it's the same thing. Like if you're not doing the things right, the results are going to show. And it's like in football. If you're not watching film and practicing and getting your strength and conditioning in, like your performance is going to show. And same thing. In mixed martial arts, like if you're not training and you're not studying your opponents or just other guys and trying to just learn new things, it's going to show in the performance, and also too, just showing up every day, having to wake up early and get to the practices. It's the same thing, I mean, they're obviously two different sports, but that's definitely what I got out of football from what I'm doing now.
And now, finally, before we roll out here today, I know we did a lot of talking right now about sports in general, but I do want to shift gears actually to outside of sports here for just a moment. You spent a few years working as a police officer, right? I believe back in Dunmore first. I think you spent some time in Baltimore, if I remember correctly, when I was doing the research for this. So obviously, a career as a police officer, it's a very challenging job. I just want to know, what was that experience like of being a police officer and dealing with the things you have to deal with in that job? Because that's a absolutely crazy environment to be working in.
That I loved it, honestly. If things didn't work out in the MMA world, I'm 150% going to go back to policing. But it was awesome, man. You get to look at life in a different way, and it actually makes you appreciate a lot of the things that you might not think of, as a civilian outside of law enforcement. But yeah, no, I mean, I met a lot of great guys, and it was an awesome experience. I worked for 3 different departments. So I went in when I was 20 years old. I went to the academy, came out, then I started working for the Lackawanna County Sheriffs. And I was there for a short amount of time. And then right after the Sheriffs, I left, and then I went to Baltimore City. And I was out there for like a year and a half, very short. And then I ended my law enforcement experience at Dunmore in my hometown. So that was awesome. I got to work with the guys that, I knew when I was like in high school, seeing the cops, and I get to work with them. So they're all great guys over there. And, I'm excited to actually go visit them and say hello, always pop in. And, it was definitely an awesome experience for sure.
And the one thing that does suck, though, obviously, with being a police officer, it's a thankless job, right? We saw it last year where we saw a lot of people posting these, like, defund the police things, and I'm completely against that. I really respect all police officers for what they do. It really is a thankless job because of all the work you guys are doing, and people are still giving you crap for it all the time. Just what is your thoughts kind of on like the way the world is today and how people think about police officers? Because I just stated my case. It shouldn't be that way. You guys do a lot of great things. Just your thoughts on law enforcement and kind of what this whole last year or so has been like as we've been seeing all these different headlines about things in law enforcement.
Today, it's you're always going to see that. And I feel like, no matter, what police do, we're always going to be fighting that battle. But what I can truthfully say, and like I said, I've worked in 3 different departments. Like they're the good guys, they really are. Like 99% of them are good and they want to do the right thing. 100%. It's just that 1% that makes the rest of the police population look bad. But I know that the brothers in blue, they're going to keep doing what they need to do to keep protecting and serving and making sure that people are okay. But I usually try not to pay too much attention to the stuff, the negativity about law enforcement, because I know the truth, and I know they're good guys for sure. And like I said, they're going to keep doing what they need to do, and they be the first person to do whatever they can for you. So, I respect them. They have my support, and I'm not being biased. Like I said, it's just I've lived it, so I know.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for your service when you were doing that. And to all the first responders, everybody in law enforcement, thank you for everything that you guys do. And thank you today for all the time that you gave me. Really appreciate everything. One last thing now before you roll out here today. Social media, management, sponsors, anybody you want to give a shout out to that you haven't done so yet, please feel free to do so. Floor is yours.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again for having me. And I do have an Instagram. It's Daiqwon Buckley _MMA. It's really all I have. It's the only thing I use. And also, too, I just want to thank my coaches again. They really did do a very great job preparing me and just allowing me to be at the type of caliber gym that I'm in right now. And I just want to thank my family. And one thing, too, I want to thank my mom and my dad and my son's mother. When I left Dunmore to move here, they really stepped up. I have a 2-year-old son back at home. And they're always, giving a helping hand, watching my son, if my son's mother needs to work or just have some free time, So I definitely want to give them, a shout out for sure because they're a big reason why I'm able to do the things that I'm doing right now. So thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Xander. I love you guys. And that's it, man.
All right, guys, there you have it. That was Daiqwon Buckley. Thanks so much for the time here again today, man. Really appreciate the conversation. Great seeing guys from Northeastern Pennsylvania doing great things. So thanks again. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that's watching this interview here today. If you like today's interview, please go to the bottom. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Also, keep going to MyMMANews, checking out our great work. Make sure you go to our social media pages. Give us a like and a follow on there as well. And if you're interested in finding me on social media, I'm at John Eric Poli on Instagram and Twitter. We'll see you later, everybody.